18th of September, and here you go, talking about eating cats and dogs and pets or whatever, and, a lot of people doesn't want to believe that. Here you go. Check this out.
Now on Just One Station, horses missing after a barn break-in. That search ending hours later and not far from their home. Two animals found butchered about a mile away.
And tonight their owners, as you can imagine, are looking for answers. The Net Team's Alex Browning has this exclusive.
For somebody to have the stomach to do something like this is heartless.
A heartless horse heist in southwest Miami-Dade over the weekend.
This is the same thing as going into somebody's yard, taking their dog, and cooking it.
Turning deadly. Two horses swiped from southwest Miami-Dade turned up dead. Their corpses found Sunday morning off southwest 205th Avenue.
Noticed that the fence was cut, and at that point we realized that they were taken.
Owner David says it started sometime overnight Saturday. His two horses, Sammy and more on the home front, stolen from their stalls off southwest 207th Avenue.
There are children, and they were abducted and killed for meat.
Their corpses later found a few blocks away.
Both horses were slaughtered sometime over the weekend. We need to come together, help out the detectives in this investigation, just give some closure to the family, and of course put behind bars these individuals that would do such a heinous crime.
A mystery leaving a family heartbroken and now searching for answers.
Our children are heartbroken. My wife's heartbroken, and we're just trying to get through this.
And now detectives working to identify that mastermind behind this heist. If you have any information, call Miami-Dade Police.
Okay, we got to get our handles on it. So what I'm going to show you guys right now is a Springfield, Ohio meeting where they left the mic on, and you can actually hear her say that she doesn't care about city business.
When audience comments were
There, I'll rewind it so you can see the words there. Okay, if you read right there, it says, I really don't give a shit about the business of the city. Okay, and then of course you can see the arrow pointing her out. This was Springfield, Ohio, and that's the commission meeting. So, and that happened July 16th, 2024. You can see that right down here. But they left the mic on, but then in the next meeting, which you'll see here in just a minute. So this here's the individual that said she didn't give a shit, and she's on the council. See, but that's a problem across the board, across the country today, is we have all of these people that sit in their big, fancy, cushy chairs up above where the people stand. See, when the people come in, the people don't even go here. They're back, and you'll see here in a minute, because they really rip in to this, which they should. We all need to, okay, because that right there is not just Springfield, Ohio. That's Springfield, USA. So I don't care what country or state or anything that you're in. It doesn't make any difference. Call them and tell them, you're not going to do that. You have no business being there,
When audience comments were over last meeting, most of us left. We had the agenda. We knew the topics. And we know the votes you're going to cast. It's all going to be yes as usual. During the break, Crystal forgot to turn her mic off and announced to the entire city that we don't give a shit. With that statement, Crystal single-handedly proved that this is how the citizens of this city are talked about between yourselves.
That's right.
This is where our concerns and fears get us in your eyes. Thanks, Crystal. Thanks for that. So I'm gonna ask you, before I'm done with this joke, who the hell don't give a shit again?
I beg your pardon. Thank you.
Taxation without representation. Now, this clip I'm about to show you is from Springfield, Ohio residents, straight from the people's mouth.
Hey guys, I have a YouTube channel and I'm working on a video about the debate with everything going on, and I was hoping I could talk to somebody and get an opinion about what's going on in Springfield. Is there anybody? Okay, it'll just be like 1 minute. I just want to know if somebody has an opinion. Okay, just 1 minute.
The words say, notice the high dollar threads and new cars. So they all got brand new clothes, nice clothes, sharp dressed.
Nobody.
And they all driving really nice new cars.
When I pulled up, though. Okay.
They don't want nothing to do with Americans, see. They don't want nothing to do with us. No way. None of them will talk to this gentleman, see.
I don't understand it. Okay. Like,
it's a problem.
All right. She's getting aggressive. Go straight. Straight. Oh, this lady's...
What this is called is the Cloward Piven strategy. It was formed in the 60s, man. It's called displacement. They're displacing our community.
Yep.
What they're doing is they dropped all these people in our community,
yep,
which cranked the prices of everything up. Everything. The houses, the groceries, everything. Everything is through the roof. The prices of used cars on Marketplace, they're buying everything with cash. They're paying cash for houses. I've never been able to pay cash for a house in my life.
Oh, yeah, and we're not just talking about small cash. I mean, they are getting serious cash from somewhere. Be right back. These are actually people that's living in Springfield, Ohio, by the way.
You know,
Where are they getting their cash?
Biden bucks, if you ask me. They get it on a card. When they come here, I hear that they get a telephone that has an app on it. They get this money loaded through this app, comes on a card. I mean, you see them.
They call it the magic card.
To the check exchange places. Go to the local ATMs. Go hang out around an ATM around here. You about can't get no money out of it because there's a line of them there doing 6 transactions.
But I can tell you personally that when I worked at the grocery store and I cashed them out, the receipts were alarming. $13,000 on EBT food, not including the $29,000 that was on EBT cash.
They had
EBT food.
$30,000 on their EBT cash balance left.
Yes.
And as a cashier, you can see that.
Yes.
And you're like, holy shit, what do you have 30 grand on
It's infuriating.
on one person's car?
It's infuriating. Yes, sir.
So they're not getting $600.
And while they're dressed very well, how are you able to dress like that? Coming over here as running for help that we're supposedly helping them? How are you dressed like that when we...
And there's nothing wrong with dressing well. It's not really the point that she's making here. The point that she's making is what you and I already know. It's like, how are you getting that much money? It's like you're coming to a country claiming that you don't have anything, and you're showing up. Not only are you getting, like, top of the line clothes, but you're getting expensive name brand everything, phones and cars. I mean, there's people right now in America that would absolutely, that's been working and saving for a long time just to have a good used car. And they're just coming in with this magic card. There is no magic card. That's you and I paying for this.
The American people are scrapping for the next set of work boots. That's a problem. That's a serious problem. And I'm not doing very well swallowing that pill.
Where's this?
Of course, she's talking about the actual Americans that truly want to work and that will work.
money, where would they be getting all tens of thousands of dollars of EBT cash?
When you go down to the Job and Family Services right down here, don't even dare tell me that you guys are not giving them money, because I've personally seen it with my own eyes.
That
The
much money,
lines.
though?
Oh, they are standing out the doors. What? They are standing out the doors to the point. Why is a 5-month pregnant woman still waiting to get assistance as an American citizen when she applied 5 months ago and is just now finding out that she was accepted as of August 15th?
The argument is that they're filling jobs that Clark County residents could not or would not want to fill, but I'm hearing that that's not necessarily the case.
Well, they're not advertising to the local population, so there's preferential treatment through the First Diversity Staffing to provide the opportunity for work to the temporary protection status immigrants that are coming in. So that's setting up a clash, you know, with the locals here, because they've.
Of course, she's running this Levy Dean or whatever for state representative or whatever. I don't know if she's Democrat or I don't know. I have no idea. But if you notice how she talks, she is talking as neutral as she can, and that's the problem. You know, she needs to be talking on one side, like, yep, these are invaders. They don't belong here. They need to go. And more importantly, I'm telling you, the ones who has set this up needs to be absolutely prosecuted and brought up on treason.
Feel like they're not getting the opportunity to even apply for those jobs because they're not seeing the jobs advertised to the local community, and they would like to take those jobs if they could get them, but they feel like they're being slighted by the staffing services.
They feel like they're being slighted. No, they are being slighted.
So these streets were flooded with stray cats 2 summers ago.
Yeah, stray cats.
Flooded with stray cats. I mean, they had, what, TNC, is it TNC, the Calico team that was coming out here and trying to get all these cats spayed and neutered, because it was a real problem in Clark County, especially out here, because people drop off pets out here when they don't want to deal with it anymore. But within the last 2 years, like I said, you don't see any cats running around here. None. And this is very wild for me to see, because
I like that her shirt says champion. She talks like a champion for sure.
You know, everybody in this neighborhood will tell you that 2 years ago it was a real problem. It was a real problem.
The cats are all gone.
They're all gone.
What about
They're all gone.
dogs?
I don't see many loose dogs anymore either.
Well,
But they were cracking down on code as far
Do
as.
they eat cats in Haiti?
Yes, they do.
Oh,
They
they
also, yes, they do.
Okay.
It's a delicacy in Haiti. Also, they also do rituals with voodoo, and voodoo is actually one of the biggest religions in Haiti. And yes, they do rituals with cats and birds, geese, ducks, eagles. I myself, 2 years ago at the park, saw an eagle that was. I'm just saying, with my own eyes, I saw. He came home disturbed about it. It's a real problem, and it's been a problem for the past 2 years. Big time.
You saw an eagle? What?
An eagle.
A dead eagle.
Somebody
Dead
killed an
eagle.
eagle down at Snyder Park. Yeah, I was out fishing and seen it, man. It was disturbing.
I can't even go fishing anymore. I can't go fishing by myself. There's no opportunity to go fishing anymore because I can't even go to the park to throw a line out without feeling like I'm in extreme danger. And that's even with a gun on my hip. I wouldn't dare go down there by myself and try to throw a line out there. It's not going to happen.
A friend of mine showed me this picture.
There you go.
She took this in Springfield.
There you
This
go.
is confirmed. She found dead pig carcasses with the heads chopped off and the eyeballs cut out. No blood, like they've been drained, on a hillside by her house. This is legit. First picture I've seen of a dead animal that I...
Now, how disturbing is that? You know, the horses, you know, the pets. You know, Trump said they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating your pets. and horses. Anybody that's around horses or loves horses like I do would tell you, horse is a special, unique kind of pet, because not only can you just spend time with it, so on and so forth, but you can use it to plow your fields with or anything else. As we've been doing for a long time. If you took off with a car, you'd have to make sure you got a place to put gas in. If you took off with an electric car, you'd have to look for a charger, put electricity. And but a horse, you could just grab it by the reins or whatever and take off walking or riding it or whatever for a ways, and let it eat the grass and continue about your it's pretty much self-sustaining vehicle ride that you can pet and teach to actually come to you, and so on and so forth. Very unique gift from God that He gave us was the horse or whatever. But I'm leaving it on this nasty picture right here of a pig head, because this reminds me of exactly of the way that of so many individuals, that the way that they are treating Americans right now. I mean, when you talk about nasty, right here's what I envision. Be right back.
That is alarming, and it overwhelms the system. Now, this clip right here is from Wisconsin.
Migrants first started arriving in early 2022. The traffic has picked up. On December 28th, Whitewater's police chief and city manager wrote a letter to the White House. They're asking the Biden administration for help, as this city of about 15,000 handles an estimated 800 to 1,000 migrants.
I'm not going to lie, we did close for 2 weeks at one point, just to sort of reassess how we were serving the needs of everybody.
Christine Zabayos, director of the community space, says there was not a huge increase in visitors, but they were seeing a lot of people with no idea how the space works.
Sometimes we felt that we had people who were maybe taking more than they needed, just because they didn't know they could come back.
For the city, the strain was more severe. The letter states police are struggling to watch the entire community because they're seeing 3 times the number of unlicensed drivers. Then, the city says it bought, quote, costly translation software so police could communicate with migrants when handling traffic cases, up to more serious cases, including sexual assaults and the death.
And this lady who lives in Chicago says she would rather live under Jim Crow laws than to live like she's living now.
All I can say to you is that you are a disgrace. I'm an 80-year-old woman, and I've never seen anything like this. I grew up in the Jim Crow South, and the policies that you're passing in this city remind me of the Jim Crow South. I had to drink out of a colored water fountain, or the whites would drink out of a white water fountain. But you know what I didn't have to worry about? Going back to my community, and it would be destroyed. And everybody else is in my community but Black people. And this is what you've done with this immigration. You have allowed all these people, you brought all these people into this city. You are destroying this city. And the Black community is flooded with all of these immigrants, violent ones, prostitution, gangs. You did that. You are doing this to your people. You are an absolute disgrace to me. Like I said, I drank out of that colored water fountain, but I could go back to that Black community that was intact. Women are crying. Taxes are going up. What am I going to do with my children? Where are we going to go and live? This is because of you, Brandon Jackson. You're destroying the south side of Chicago with your policy. All under the Democratic Party.
You know what? Democratic Party. See, that's exactly right. Everybody is. I think the majority have woken up now. This is not a whites against blacks or a blacks against white or anything like that. This is about. There are some dirty, low-down, rotten, demonic bad. I don't even there's no words to really describe when you're talking about like scum of the earth that shouldn't even, devils or whatever. There's no word really that just shows your dismay or your disgust. So you're always trying to find like that, I mean, me, myself, and I would demonic is about as good as that we have, but look around, the people that live in close proximity of you, they're no damn good. And the reason why is because they've bought into, they think that they're entitled to more than what they're entitled to. Nobody has to be accountable to anything. And that's exactly where all of these people like Bill Gates and BlackRock and all of them, George Soros, this is exactly where they wanted us to wind up. And you have the people that have no brain, like the liberals and the Democrats, as this young lady right here is pointing out. She's saying she would rather live under Jim Crow, where it was segregated or whatever, because at least she knows that, hey, we matured and we grew, we understood more, we learned from it, and we moved on, but now you don't even know if you can go back home and have a house to go back to. And it's true, because these invaders will move right into your house if you go to the store and come back and they're locked up in there. Well, you've got to go to court and everything to get them out, and they're not showing that on the mainstream media. But all they have to do is get inside that door. And if you're somebody that has rental properties and you're waiting and it's empty for whatever reason, I've got buddies and friends of mine right now that's going through that trouble. They moved in and they have to take them to court and everything. But guess what? Now you're in even bigger trouble, because if you're in a sanctuary city, they can do whatever they want to, including the unaliving of people, and ain't nothing. They just let them go. They let them go. There's people right now that's literally just walking free, and I'm talking about invaders. When I say people there, I should make that clear that it's the invaders, So anyway, yeah, there's your Democrat Party at work right there, the Liberalcrats. And Ohio is an infestation. It absolutely is an infestation of the lowest form of Liberalcrats that you can get. I can't stress it enough. Columbus, Ohio is absolutely devastated by them. Athens, Ohio, the Plains, Ohio, and even around where I'm at right now, there's just demonic individuals that just, I can't even stress it enough. But this is happening in everywhere USA right now. So get involved. Put in that phone call. It's easy to do. Make that phone call, 202-224-3121. Call them up and tell them enough is enough of this. We ain't having it. And I made a video earlier about the WHO, World Health Organization. And right now, as in the 18th of September, today, this came out yesterday, where they are trying to do a deal, and I'm talking about they being the Liberalcrats, the puppets that's in there. They're wanting to turn everything over to the WHO, World Health Organization, till where if there's another flu outbreak or anything, that the president of the U.S. or anything doesn't have a say or anything. It just all goes to the WHO, and they have full carte blanche to do whatever they deem necessary. So if that means you're locked up, if that means they snatch your kids away from you, if that means that they shoot you full of mercury or whatever else, it doesn't make any difference. You ain't gonna have no say in it. And the CCP is the head honchos of the WHO. Go look it up for yourself. Go watch my video about it. But get in there and make a call. Stand up and do something. Now's the time, man. We're 50 days out from the election, November 5th. But remember, we still got to go until January before we actually get Trump back in there. So we got to do this ourselves right now because, Trump's not in there right now. We're still dealing with this Harris, Biden, whoever, Obama. We have no idea. They have no plan, and even if they did have a plan, all you have to do is look at the last 3.5, 4 years since they've been put in there. Is anybody happy with that? Absolutely not. Anyway, be right back. Okay, this is Full Spectrum Survival here channel, and listen to this.
It looks like there's some sort of hit list that is circulating around on the internet, and people's names are being added to it. I don't know whether this is a petition kind of thing, and the individuals across America, U.S. citizens, you, the people, are doing this, or what, but it is extremely dangerous. Now, I recently saw a lot of people calling for DeSantis, and this is Ron DeSantis. He's the U.S. governor of Florida. Now, a lot of people were calling for him to undergo huge investigations, some of them saying that he needs to be taken out, which is extreme.
Okay, and that's just because he said that he was going to, do his investigation himself, because they wanted them to let that dude that just tried to take Trump out go. They're wanting to let him go, because that's what I say. The dude has $300 in his bank account, yet he's able to travel and he's able to buy like these high-powered rifles and so on and so forth. So, yeah, it don't quite make sense, Well, actually, it does make sense, a lot of sense. They are doing their best to eliminate Americans.
Dangerous language to be using during a time when our country is facing increasing threats of violence. But he just held back the shooter recently from federal investigation. The FBI wanted the shooter, which they have, they've known about since 2019. They want him in their custody. Florida said, we're going to do this the Florida man's way, and they held on to him.
Yep.
So people are saying that basically everyone you don't like needs to be taken out.
Yep.
This is the exact kind of language that you see, the verbiage that is used right before a country goes into civil war, people.
Yep.
This is very, very dangerous. After completing intense operations in the Gaza Strip, the 179th Armored Brigade, that's of Israel, trained for and is ready now to initiate ground operations in Lebanon. Now, one of the colonels there, the commander of the brigade, told different media outlets that the reserve units have achieved what they call results on the ground and are ready for new maneuvers. They came to the war with a high level of readiness, he says. The soldiers have maximized their capabilities and operated at the highest level of professionalism. They spent a month and a half in offensive combat with infantry and engineering units, and whether you like it or not, he says, you keep improving. Every maneuver, every battle, they have seen a rise in professionalism. Now that's a whole bunch of ball fluffing, if you ask me, because they know that this is a war of anger, and this is a war that will go on. The Democratic vice presidential candidate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, says that Americans
Tim Walz, we know him. That's that's old Camel Toes running idiot, and he's also the one, Tampon Tim they call him, because he's the one that puts in tampon machines in schools where he's from in Minnesota there, He puts tampon machines in the boys' bathrooms. Not a joke, man. Just absolutely sickening.
Are better off economically than they were 4 years ago. Now, I don't know which one of his cronies or buddies he's talking to, but the average American citizen is not better off financially than they were 4 years ago.
Heck no.
Now, maybe he's nitpicking and cherry picking and saying, okay, well, during the height of the pandemic, when we told everyone to stay home, and states like his made it so that you were mandated to stay home, maybe then some people were better off financially than they are today. But I don't know about you, but paying 60% more for some Kraft mac and cheese, or seeing at Sam's Club and Costco you can buy a brisket for $96 doesn't seem like a financial position that we should.
A brisket. Man, a brisket. A brisket was like, you know, that's not the best cut of meat. That's, you know, but people really jumped in and figured out how to fix brisket because it used to be you know, like it was a lower quality piece of meat, but they, you know, that's kind of the competition, is to take that piece of meat and see what you can do with it to make, and they have, you know, people are brilliant, and they figured out how to make it absolutely just melt in your mouth delicious, but now even that is $100. It's just sad, man. We gotta do something. Better call the representative. Your representative, call who? Not just your representative. Heck, you can call anybody you want to. 202-224-3121.
Yeah. What it seems like is a greater divide between those that do have and those that do not have.
Absolutely.
We have seen uranium from Kim Jong-un. He's the leader of North Korea. Iran and Russia have said that they will help North Korea with uranium enrichment. They're calling for an exponential increase in nuclear warheads. Now, Russia recently said that, okay, America, you're arming Ukraine. Okay, NATO, you're arming Ukraine. Well, Russia is going to begin to arm your enemies, America.
Yep.
This has gotten out of hand. Yep. China's defense minister has said that China will support Russia militarily when NATO attacks Russia. There are concerns that the United States of America right now does want World War III. And that's why I'm sporting this new gas mask ready, NBC suit ready shave. You have to be a little bit thinner down than this, but I figure a nice little quick trim can make it happen. The end of the US dollar's dominance is here, according to experts. Now, a lot of this information that you guys get here every day, you're not going to see anywhere else. Or in some cases, you'll see blips and bits, but you'll probably see them over a 30-minute segment. What we do here every day is bring you information that you need to know in around 10 to 12 minutes so that you can go about your day and not be one of the scared sheep that's out there, or the denialist deniers that don't even realize the world that they're in.
Yeah, there's
you
plenty
can be
of
aware and you can know what's up. So experts say that there's an end to the US dollar dominance. They believe an impending collapse of the Bretton Woods system is here. It was established post-World War II, tying the U.S. dollar to gold, stabilizing global trade, setting the stage for seismic shifts in global finance. When 1971 came around and Nixon exited the gold for the USA, we had unchecked money printing and laundering beginning. This led to the U.S. spiraling debt and weakening global power, according to Chinese economic analysts. Now the BRICS countries, that's Brazil, Russia,
I recommend if anybody can get into gold right now, if you haven't already, you know, do whatever you have to do and get into it. It's, I mean, you know, if you bought in a couple years ago, just look how much money that you made. If you bought in just a year ago, look how much money that you made. Or even 6 months ago, look how much money that you made. The more you can buy, now I ain't saying buy, you know, so much that it runs you broke, but if you can buy even a little bit, you know, you never know.
India, China, you have all these other nations that are all working together against the United States dollar. They're pushing for a new trade system, one that is completely free of the US dollar's dominance.
Yep.
Crypto offers some sort of decentralized alternative but the U.S. will not, according to economic analysts, be able to maintain their influence or usher in a new financial era that is on the horizon. So what does that mean for you and me? Well, Tim Walz would say that we're going to be in a better position without the United States dollar than we were 4 years ago. For the realists out there, we know that your dollar losing its purchasing power, which it already has, your dollar's worth about, seems like 30 cents compared to what it used to be. As it continues to lose its purchasing power, what actually happens? Well, you get poorer. And so even if you say, well, I don't really care, I'll use whatever, I'll use the yuan, I'll use crypto, I'll use whatever, it's still going to affect you. Now is the time to think like your great-grandparents did. Can food if you have extra. Preserve food if you have the capability. Hunt and...
Yeah, because I said it, and I'll say it again, and I'm not the only one that says it, but there are... Even if Trump jumped in there tomorrow, I mean, all the stuff that they've already done over the last 4 years, this regime hasn't even fully, come to really, really to a head-on collision yet. I mean, it's going to hit, and it's going to hit even harder. And there's a lot of people thinking, well, nah, I'm still okay. But no, we haven't seen the results of what has already taken place. And I'm really concerned about that very thing, because it's not going to even hit until next year. Because some things that they've already put into motion can't be stopped. Like, they've already funded certain things. Places have already gotten their money. There's already promises and stuff signed or whatever that certain countries and certain places and people and so on and so forth will be getting our money. Or currency, rather. Not money, but currency. Dollars. And how do you explain that to people? And especially the ones that think, well, I don't have nothing, I ain't got nothing to worry about. They're going to be the ones suffering the worst, because just like they give it to you, they can take it away.
Fish, learn how to fix your own house, do without when you can. These are hard times coming at us fast. I want to give you a quick bit of history here of our stock market crashes in the USA. From the Great Depression to the Great Financial Crisis, we saw trillions of value wiped out. Here's some disastrous crash history. 1907, we saw a panic that was triggered by failed speculation in the copper market, causing a severe liquidity crisis. Great Depression, 1929, we saw the stock market crash, also known as Black Tuesday. This marked the beginning of the Great Depression, $30 billion vanishing from the stock market. Now I'm going to remind you, JP Morgan just said recently, within the last 72 hours, do not expect the stocks to do what they did for the last 5-10 years. We're entering into turmoil. Black Monday, 1987, October 19th, the global stock market experienced a sudden and severe crash. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 23% in one day. Dot-com bubble of 2000, we saw this massive rise in technology stocks. And what do we see right now? An entire country's market propped up by NVIDIA. Seems like a good idea. When that bubble burst last, I'm a little dyslexic, so the burble bust too, we saw a 78% drop in the NASDAQ value. Number 5, the global financial crisis of 2008, driven by the U.S. housing market crash, leveraged through subprime mortgages. This was when they would give everybody, if you worked at McDonald's part-time, 2 days a week, they're like, sure, we got a mortgage for you, no problem. They knew it couldn't be paid back, and they knew that if the person lost their job, they wouldn't be able to get another of adequate pay. But they gave them mortgages for $200,000 anyways. We are there right now. Then we saw the COVID crash. Now, this was one of the fastest stock market crashes in history. Global economy shut down. It rebounded quickly, though, because they instituted control measures. The next one.
Yeah, too big to fail.
The one we're about to see, according to people like JP Morgan, is going to be unlike any of these. These will pale in their comparison. One last thing before we wrap up today's news brief. The Russian...
And remember, like what he's just talking about there, you know, this one will pale in comparison. You know, when they do this, you know, like the 2008 debacle there, you know, they said too big to fail, so we got to give all this money to these big yahoos. And the money that they give them, and when I say they, I mean the corrupt government, what did they do? They turned right around and give themselves huge bonuses. They give themselves huge bonuses. I mean, that literally would be like if your house burnt down to the ground, heaven forbid, but it's like somebody's house burning plumb down to the ground. They're standing there with absolutely nothing, and people or someone stops and says, hey, here's a bunch of clothes, and here's this, and here's that. And they immediately put up a for sale sign and start selling the stuff that you just gave them. You know, it's even worse than that, you know. Or if you say, here's $100,000, buy yourself another house, or build your house back, and they run out and they buy a brand new car with it, you know, and then just sell that property that they had. That's exactly what they did. That's what they did.
UN ambassador, they issued a stern warning to all Western countries. They've said that as you are now entering into a direct war with a nuclear power, and there has been a pleading with Ukrainian allies to lift legitimate restrictions against military targets deep inside of Russia, the comments by the ambassador directly before a meeting with Joe Biden shows that also a visiting meeting with British Prime Minister Starmer. Reports say that U.S. leaders endorsing the Ukrainian use as the decision to lift restrictions is really taken. This means that from that moment forward, NATO countries are conducting a direct war with Russia. Now, it might seem like you've heard about these things before. That's because there's a plan, an information campaign, to make sure that every ear that can hear, far and wide, inside of the USA and outside, knows that Russia has said over and over again, you're crossing the red line. They want you, the people, to know that your leaders are the ones who are purposefully doing this. And to what gain of ours in America?
Yep.
Are you ever going to see cheaper bread prices because we have now instituted contracts under military duress inside of Ukraine, the breadbasket of the world? Will you see cheaper solar because we're taking over the lithium mines in Ukraine? No.
Nope.
Will the people who are going in there with guns a-blazing and pockets full of cash do it? Will they make money? Absolutely.
Yeah, sure they will.
But for us, the people, game's over.
Yep.
So Russia wants everyone to know that our politicians, our leaders, are the ones willingly doing this. And when Russia reacts, whose fault is it going to be?
Absolutely.
Well, they want you to know it's not necessarily just a knee-jerk. They want you to know that this has been planned for a very long time.
So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, you know, especially with whenever we know that these invaders are, you know, but here's the thing, they're never ever going to, they're not wanting them to work in with American values and stuff. They don't want that. They want them to come in and be the replacement, because remember, they're getting $10,000 in tax relief off of each one of them, tax credits, every one of them that they hire. But then, as you heard the one younger lady say earlier, that, you know, she's seen like 30 grand in cash that was on their magic cards, they're calling them. You know, and I mean, to have, you know, 15,000 in food stamps or however, whatever that card is, I know people that would love to have $50, you know. It's incredible that that there's still people like that would still even claim to be Democrat or, you know, liberal. That's insane. We need to make our place in America. And I'm talking about the Americans. We need to make not just our place, but we need to make the whole place our place. Oh, wait a minute. It is. All of it's our place. But, you know, you've got the stupid individuals that, you know, they'll play around with, you know, whatever they play around with instead of paying attention to what needs to be going on right now. And unfortunately, our diligence and watching what's going on and fighting the fight and stuff to try to keep our country right now, as a result of it, these lazy, stupid people will reap the benefits of it, you know? And they didn't even lift a finger to help. They don't do anything. They don't call in. They don't do nothing. And that's incredibly sad, you know? Now, I'm not talking about the ones, you know, that obviously, you know, can't get up out of bed or can't fight or something like that, you know? But, man, if you can do something, if you can even talk on the phone, you know, pick up the phone and call and tell them, say, you know, this is no good. You know, we want this to stop. This Biden put in Obama, Biden, Harris crap, you know. I guess voting started earlier. Was that Pennsylvania today or something? Anyway, I guess that's going really, really well. Early voting and stuff, so that's good. Anyway, let me show you one more thing before I end this video. This is Tim Walls, Tampon Tim they call him. This is the individual that put and has tampon machines in Minnesota, where he's the governor of, or whatever he does up there. But in the boys' bathrooms. So that's why they call, and this is Kamala Kamito Harris's VP pick, running mate or whatever. And listen to this stupidity. Listen to this. Talking about hate speech and stuff. Look here. Listen to this.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me. Okay, here we go. Now, hold on.
And believe it's share-worthy. Remember, it's still no measure of good mental health to be considered well-adjusted to information or hate speech.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
The question...
Yeah, there's no hate speech. Oh, man. Okay, anyway. Enough of all this. Listen, I can't stress it enough. Call that number, 202-224-3121. Talk to your representative. Tell them that enough is enough. We've had enough of all these yahoos just like this one right here right now. And, you know, let's take our country back. Not only just take it back, but let's make it way better. All right, listen, God bless America. God bless you and yours. We're praying for you. Thanks for praying for us. Love you, Lord. Love you, boss. Peace out.